Hey, it's Johar. Welcome back to my channel. So I am gonna be talking about Quinn and Logan. Not that long ago, I did a relationship timeline video of them, and I've been meaning to do this one. I just haven't gotten around to it because I've been busy. But I'm finally doing it. I'm gonna be doing top 10 Quinn and Logan moments from Zoey 101 and Zoey 102. So exciting. Um, so I love Quinn and Logan. They are I say they're tied for my favorite Nick ship along with Maddie and Dago, which I have a couple videos of their coming out once I can finish my research because I need to rewatch the show and I'm filming rewatching every which way and but I can't pick Paramount Plus at the moment, so when I finish that I plan to do a relationship timeline of them and a top 10 moments of them. So yeah. But anyways, I absolutely love Quinn and Logan, and they are amazing. And I was so happy with the content we got on Zoey 102. I still a little bit sad that they were overshadowed by Chase and Zoey. Her name slipped my mind yet. It's called Zoey 102. Okay, anyways, um, but yeah. So let's jump in. So number 10, which is might be one of my favorite episodes besides the ones where they're actually together. Um, which is when Quinn made Logan wear a dress. Like this entire episode, I'm pretty sure this is the episode when I really started shipping them. Um, and because even people that did start shipping them before can agree that this is like the turning point episode for the two of them and their relationship. Like this was the episode where, like, if this episode didn't happen, I don't see them like really getting to the point where they got where they could get together. Cause like this, so this cemented their friendship, and um, and even though Logan hated that Quinn did this, I think he also kind of respected her for being able to pull something so conniving off. Because I don't think he realized just how conniving and chaotic she could actually be. And I think part of him respected her for that. But anyways, so in this episode, at the beginning, Logan is having trouble with his free throws, so Quinn offers to help him, but from the very first episode, she was terrible at basketball, but she hates being bad at stuff, so she decided to work on it and make herself better, and she realized that it was like science and physics can help you be a good basketball player. And she's like, he's like, I don't want Quinn to help me. She's a spaz, which made Quinn, which kind of triggered Quinn because she has bad memories of being bullied and being called a spaz. So she ended up showing him that she could do uh, that she can shoot baskets over and over again. And then he was like, "Could you help me?" And so she came up with this entire ruse of things she had to help him do before he can actually start making baskets. Like there was one where she had a remote controlled chicken running. He had to try to catch it. There was one with a tennis ball machine and he had to try to catch the balls, but she put it on a really high speed, so he was pelted with balls. And then she put him forced him to wear a dress and heels, saying that convincing him that uh, part of why he is afraid why he can't make free throws is because of everyone looking at him. But if he walks around wearing that, then he won't care what people say anymore. Um, so she grabs his hand and the two of them walk along campus while he's wearing a dress. And then he's able to make free throws. And then she's like, "Yeah, it was all in your wrist all along." And then it took him a minute, but he was like, "Wait a minute, why did I have to do all that stuff?" She was like, "Nobody calls me a spaz." And he gets angry. He throws the balls and walks away as she's laughing as he's trying to walk in heels. But it is an iconic episode, definitely one of the best, and I think it was also the first truly episode that actually had one because most of these only one episodes have like a couple different storylines because like it has a pretty big cast. I mean, obviously Zoe's the main character, but Chase, Quinn, Michael, all have been had roles since the very beginning. Then when Lolo was introduced, plus in season one there was Dana. The first two seasons there was Nicole. So uh, they couldn't just have them all have the same storyline every episode. They split them up several episodes. Um, and I feel like this was the first episode that Quinn and Logan had a storyline solely just the two of them. And like I said, it's definitely a turning point for Quinn and Logan's relationship, and for us as fans, and I absolutely love it. Number 9 is you want to make out. So they actually say this a couple times, but I'm talking about the last episode. Um, uh, Logan walks in and says hi to Quinn, and then he says he found a date because they agreed to find dates for each other so that nobody suspects they're dating, which I think is insane. Like, I get why they Logan at least needs a date because like him not having a date just wouldn't make sense. But I still think even if he did show up with a date, that anyone would think that the two of them, just because they both don't have dates. Like Quinn just got out of a serious relationship, so it would make sense that she may not want to be dating right now. So people wouldn't bat an eye if she didn't bring a date. Logan, I think people would be suspicious if he didn't bring a date just because he's Logan. But at the same time, um, even whether he brought a date or not, like I don't think anyone would just assume like, oh, you two must be dating. No, because like everyone was so surprised that they were dating because no one thought in a million years that the two of them, of all people, would date. So I don't think. So I think their plan was flawed because I just don't see them. I just don't see anyone actually guessing that they're dating without actually them admitting it or someone catching them in a romantic position. So yeah. But anyways, um, and I don't know why I like this scene so much. It's just really adorable. I love they end up arguing because she doesn't want him to make out Mandy, and um so they agree to pick each other's dates so that the other one, so they don't get jealous or angry or anything. And then so they're like, fine, fine. And she's like, you're so irritating sometimes. And he just smiles at her and he was like, you want to make out? And then she just starts laughing. She's like, yeah. So he and it was just so adorable because I love how he like kind of grabs her elbow and the two of them run off, grab their bags, and they just run off laughing. Like, they are so adorable. Like, I love them so much, and I think this is just proof that they are an amazing couple. Number 8 is almost getting caught. So I think these two instances were the same episode. With the episode when was his name come back? I can't remember his name now, but the guy Lola ends up dating the basketball player that got expelled and all that. Can't remember his name now, but in this episode, the two of them were not good at keeping this secret. It was hilarious. At the beginning, they were all having lunch, and then uh, uh, Logan made a comment that Lola was dumb, and Lola made a comment that no, it was something like that. Because Lola ends up calling Logan dumb. I don't remember what Logan calls Lola though. I think she might have just said you're weird. And then she says you're dumb, and Quinn, without thinking, is like, leave him alone. So everyone looks at her like, you're defending Logan. Like, honestly, when I think about these scenes, like, how could anyone not realize it just because of these little moments? But at the same time, I think everyone was just so in denial that the two of them could actually have real feelings for each other. Anyways, everyone looks at her like, you're defending Logan, and she's like, of course I'm not, stupid Logan. And then she eats a chip angrily, and then Logan just smiles at her, and she smiles back, and it has to be one of my favorite scenes. If it was longer, I might have had it higher, but since it is so short, I had to put it back. But I just love it. Like, it's just so adorable the way they look at each other and nobody notices, and it's just so cute. But then later in the episode, when they're all arguing because they didn't let him back into school, and they're all obviously angry because of what happened last time. Um, they were talking about what he did to them, and Michael, I think it was, makes a comment about Enda Figalo, which is Mark, Quinn's ex-boyfriend, who obviously broke Quinn's heart, which is why her and Logan were able to get together. And she said, well, Mark probably deserved it. And Lola like was like, he was your boyfriend. And Logan, without thinking, yells, well, he's not anymore. And then everyone just kind of looks at him like, and he's like, well, he's not. And it's just so cute because it's like, Logan got so jealous and Quinn got so defensive of him. And it was just so adorable to see how tables have turned, how much they have actually grown to care about each other despite everything. Number seven, can't stay away from each other. So, this is the episode after their first kiss, and they're seen making out, and but then Logan's like, this is weird. Or no, they're not making out. They're doing butterfly kisses, I think, where they rub their noses to each other, and he's like, this is weird. And she's like, wow, a lot of boys and girls rub noses together, and he's like, no, not that, us, this, and she's like, right, it kind of is. So they agree to stop seeing each other. But then later on, they end up making out, and uh, they were like, "Well, we're not doing very well at staying away from each other." And then Logan, which is just so adorable. I love how it's Logan that says it, just because I feel like Logan was always the one that like acted as if he didn't care about Quinn. Um, he was like, well, maybe I don't want to stop. And then they were like, does this make us boyfriend and girlfriend? And they were like, wow. Like, they never saw this coming. I mean, a lot of fans did, but they didn't. um, and I just love how it's like, they were like, let's stay away from each other. Let's not do this anymore. But then, like, 5 minutes later, they're seen making out again. They just couldn't stop. Um, Number six, dancing in a janitor's closet. So they obviously wanted to do something romantic, but they're in a secret relationship. So they're dancing in a janitor's closet, and Quinn is like, "This is weird. We're dancing in a janitor's closet." And it's like they both don't want anyone to know about each other, but at the same time, it can be hard for them to be in the secret relationship because they can't do, real romantic stuff. Um, and he's like, "I brought you a flower," and she's like, "Yeah, it is dying because of all the fumes in here." And um, and then he's like, uh, he makes a comment about taking her out to Vaqueros, is that how you pronounce it? Which is a very fancy restaurant and very expensive, so the PCA people usually can't afford there, but Logan is rich. Well, his father's rich, but he gets a lot of his father's money. So Quinn was like, "You take me there?" And he was like, "Sure." It was just so sweet because the way Quinn looked at Logan was just so adorable, and she was just so in awe that he would take her there, and he was just like, of course, like it was no big deal, but it is to her. And um so they made plans for their first official date, and yeah, so it was sweet. Number five, I Like You. So this was also the prom episode, which last episode, which is one of my favorite episodes of the entire series. And he so in this scene, um, they are heading to prom, and Quinn is annoyed. At this point, she's forced to take Dustin, Zoe's little brother, while Logan is also annoyed because he's forced to take Stacy, who's had a huge crush on him for forever, but he does not like her. And so Quinn grabs Logan and runs off so they can hide and talk in private for a minute. And um, they're neither one of them are happy. And Quinn is like, maybe we should just come together. And he's like, you want everyone to find out about us? And she's like, obviously now I couldn't take the abuse we both get. And he's like, I promise, at some point we will find a way to be together. And she kind of just smiles and she's like, I like you. And he returns the smile. Uh, but then of course Stacy has to come and interrupt their moment, and for them to explain why they're talking, he's like, I was just telling Quinn how much I don't like her, and she's like, yeah, you're such a jerk. And it's like, it's funny because they used to say those kind of stuff all the time in the first couple seasons, but now you can just tell that their heart's not in it to be mean to each other anymore. Like, they're trying to act as if they don't care, but they can't anymore because they finally realized that they have real feelings for each other. So it's harder to pretend to say these mean things to each other and pretend to mean it when they don't. Number four is their wedding in Zoey 102. So this is the entire like wedding scene at the end. So um, they bring Quinn to the old PCA, and Logan proposes again. And she said, and of course she was like, "Yes, I will marry you." And Logan's face, like he was just so ecstatic. Like literally all he wanted in the world was to marry her, and it was just the sweetest thing. And he just got so excited. And then um, they get married, and then the reception is really sweet to see them dancing. They have slow dance, they have fast dance as well, and them shoving cakes into each other's mouth, and it was just so sweet. And the entire scene is just 10 out of 10, and um, they kiss as well after they shove cake to each other's mouth, and the proposal is just so beautiful, and it's just so, and I love how Quinn's wearing a because she's not a dressy person, you know, she likes to wear lab coats, but she made a comment earlier in the movie that she preferred to wear a lab coat to get married. And so she did, and she was like, I finally feel like me. And Logan, being Logan, wore a shirt that kind of like this, like where you can see like his shoulders, because he used to wear shirts like that all the time. And um and had like a picture of a tuxedo, and because he's Logan. And they were just so happy to finally get married, and it was so sweet. Number three, we're in the top three. First kiss. So this obviously is also one of my favorite episodes, and so the entire episode. So Mark breaks up with Quinn pretty early in the episode. So the entire episode, well, at first she's just very distraught until she finds out why, which is that he really wants to date this pretty girl. So, um, she decides to try to change herself, which is the first time she's ever done anything like that. Cause she's usually pretty confident in who she is. But she tries to, she takes off her glasses, she straightens her hair, she wears this kind of sexy outfit, which is not Gwen, and she tries to get extension, which doesn't work. So she's crying on a bench by herself, and Logan is skating by, and then he stops, goes backwards, and was like, "Are you crying?" And she's like, "Just leave me alone, Logan." And he could have he could have just walked away after that, but he didn't, which proves, like, I'm sorry, like, I know some might say, "Oh, they did care about each other until this episode," but no, like, I truly believe there was something between them from early on, and like, there's little hints. Um, I don't know if I'm just reading too much into it or what, but there's little hints that they actually did care about each other, just neither one of them would admit it or realize it themselves. And because if he didn't care about her as much as he said, then he could have very well just kept going. But he was concerned for her, so he sat down and he was like, "Talk to me." So she did, and she explained how Mark broke up with her for Brooke, and um, him being Logan, of course, doesn't make things that much better right away. He's like, "Well, she's hot," and he's like, um, but he says nice things about her. He's like, "You're funny, you're smart, you're kind of fun," and she's like, "Thanks," but she kind of rolls her eyes, and uh, he's like, "Why are you dressed like that?" And then she explains how she was trying to you know compete with Brooke. I couldn't think of the wording. Compete with Brooke, and he was like, "Don't," which is him in just one word, don't. He was saying that he likes her just the way she is, and she shouldn't change, which is so beautiful. And so he grabs her glasses and puts them on for her, which is just so adorable. And then he's like, "There's Quinn." They just look at each other for a minute before they kiss. And then not Chase, Zoey and Michael ride by on a horse, scaring them, and they both go jump away, and they're like, "Weirdest day ever." And then they both could have just very well got up and walked separate directions, but they don't. They just scoot as far away on the bench as they could, and Quinn just keeps looking away. And Logan, what kills me about Logan is that he touches his lips. Like, he was so down bad at this point, like, it was so obvious. Number two, Logan apologized to Quinn. This is from Zoey 1 and 2, and I squealed when I saw this scene for the first time, like the way they recreated the iconic scene from the show. But obviously Quinn cancels their wedding because she was angry at Zoe, she was angry at Logan, so she cancels the wedding and runs off. And Logan wants to, make things right with her because he loves her and all he wants in the world is her. So he goes to see her. He's has flowers and she's like up and looking out the window and he's talking to her from down below and he's like, all I want is you. And um, and then he shouts, I love Quinn Penske. And she uh, smiles. She's like, and I love Logan Reese. And I cannot tell you how much I squealed when they did that for the first time. Like, I was just, could not believe it. But I was so happy that they did do it. And so she, so obviously they make up and they get on good terms again. And uh, obviously they do get married, but I love it, like the way he would just all he wanted was her and he even so much submits in the way they recreate that scene, like it is iconic. Honorable mentions, I have their date at Vaqueros that gets interrupted by uh, James and Zoe, and then obviously Michael and Lola joining later on. But they had a good time before they came. They were laughing, having fun, and just being themselves without having to hide. And then karaoke in the scene right before they did karaoke in the movie. Um, Logan's like, absolutely not. And then Quinn steps up. She's like, I love you. And he's like, I love you too. She's like, good. Then stop worrying about the details and just have fun with me. And he was like, oh, okay. It was just so sweet. Like, the way she has it wrapped around her finger is so adorable. And then I have seen each other for the first time on their wedding day, obviously also in the movie, and they're both talking about trying to figure out where Chase and Zoe are. So they're freaking out because they're about to get married. They have no idea where the the bridesmaid or the groomsman man are. So they're like, um, best man. That's the word I was looking for. The bridesmaid and best man are. So they're freaking out, but then they stop for a minute, and he was like, "You look good." She's like, "So do you." And like they were just. It's not even the fact that they said that; it's the fact their facial expressions, like they were being so flirty, and then they just go back to trying to figure out where they are. Um, and then number one is their first "I love you." Obviously, can anything else be number one? I don't think so. Any top 10 Quinn and Logan lists have to have this as number one, or I do not trust them. But um, so obviously they are dancing with Quinn's dancing with Dustin and Logan is dancing with Stacy, but they keep looking at each other longingly. And then Quinn gets annoyed with Dustin, so makes him fall asleep, and they go sit down. And then uh, Stacy tries to kiss Logan, and he's like, "I don't want to kiss you," and she's like, "Why not?" And he's like, and then he shouts without even thinking about it. He literally just shouts pretty loudly, because I love Quinn. And then literally the music stops, everyone turns to look at him, and then someone's like, "You love Quinn." Like nobody's in their right mind saw that coming. And then Quinn like looks up and she stands up and she gets very kind of shy because everyone's looking. And then uh Logan just turns to her and he just was like, "Yeah, I." And then um he yells, "I love Quinn Pesky," and she just grins, and she's like, "I love Logan Reese." And then the two of them are just so happy, like their smiles are just a mile wide, and then they run to each other and they kiss as everyone gasping and they cannot believe that the two of them are in love and that they are kissing. But it is such an iconic scene and definitely one of my favorites of the entire series. I absolutely love it. So thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment your favorite Quinn and Logan moments down below, and I'll talk to you guys next time.